Okay, so welcome everybody to today's presentation. I'm just going to do an introduction here. Welcome to Cassandra Arsenal, who is the owner of Konnect, which is a social media management company. After graduating from Lakehead University, Confederation College, George Brown College, and working with a variety of local businesses, she knew she wanted to help in the marketing space. She loves spending time online and found many small businesses needing help to grow their social media presence and build their community. She built Konnect specifically for them. Konnect offers a full social media management, social media coaching, and will soon be offering a variety of courses to help you feel comfortable and confident in your online marketing skills. Cassandra understands that social media is an ever-growing and changing industry and can be hard to keep up with. However, she knows it's so important to incorporate within your business, especially now. She understands firsthand how busy running a business can be, and that's why she wants to help take away the stress and give you back time towards the things that you love. So welcome, Cassandra.
Hello, everyone. Let me just find the mute button here. I hope everyone is doing well. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello. So nice to see your faces. I see a lot of people I haven't seen before, which is really exciting. I feel like when I do these, sometimes I gave the same like spiel and then I have like the same joke in there and everyone's like, hey, we've heard this 45 times. So it's exciting to see some new faces. Normally for presentations, I ask for the questions at the end, but because we're going to go through Canva together, we're going to share some screens, that kind of stuff. If you have questions during it, if you want me to go back and just do something again, feel free to just kind of interrupt me, whether it's through the chat or like Lori said, just speak up, say what you got to say. And yeah, this is recorded, as you guys know. So if you see something and you want to go back to it, Lori will send this all to you later today. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's do it this way. Can everybody see that okay?
Yep, we can see it. Good.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So let me just adjust this. Sometimes my Zoom then gets lost. There we go. Okay. So today we are going to talk about content creation through Canva. So as you guys know, social media has kind of taken over the world. If you're not on it, businesses need to kind of adapt and develop, but that can be hard because if you haven't used social media before, you're probably completely lost and confused. Or if you have used social media before, now you're using it as an advertising modem for your business, and that can get a little complicated too. So a tool that I use for my business, for my clients, is called Canva. And many people use it. I mean, we should have bought stocks in it years ago. It definitely has blown up, especially since COVID. And so I wanted to do this presentation to help us kind of streamline our content creation process and just make more sense of this program. Because if it's the first time you're seeing it, it's kind of like the first time you saw like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, and you were like, I don't know where anything is. Once you learned it, it was like, oh, okay, there's bold. This is how I add a chart, that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through a little of the basics today. There is a million different features. There's so many different things you can do on it. YouTube is a wealth of knowledge past, just this little lesson that we're going to do today. But yeah, if you have any questions, again, feel free to stop me or reach out after the presentation as well. So as Lori said, I'm Cassandra, owner of Konnect. I studied psychology, marketing, and digital marketing in school. And so I did a few years of school before I decided to open up the business. My favorite platform right now is Instagram. I love all the features that they're offering. I love that it's just such a big audience that you can reach on Instagram. And then I like to wear heels, as you can see in the photo, because I am only 5 feet tall. So it's kind of nice to feel tall sometimes. So let's get into this. So brand, I've talked about this in previous conversations. Brand is more than just your font and your colors, but today we are going to talk about your font and your colors and your brand elements is what we call that. So when we look at our social media and when we look at our website, when we look at our business as a whole, you want to make sure that everything kind of connects to each other. They're all connected in some capacity. So the way that we do that is by creating a brand around our business. So when I say connected, I mean our colors and our fonts in this case. when you go to somebody's website, if it looks completely different than their Facebook page or completely different than their business card, you might say, is this the same business? Like, am I in the right spot? You might feel a little bit confused. And so today we're going to talk a lot about Canva and how you can create very simple graphics using these brand elements that you may have created or that I hope you create for your business. So I always say use the same colors and fonts. So you may pick, 3 fonts, you may pick 5, 5 colors. I don't recommend picking like 1,000 colors, but maybe you have, 5 colors. Oftentimes you have your black and your white is a color. And then in my case, my brand color, if you go to my Instagram or you find me on social media, you'll notice that my graphics are very pink in nature. They have a lot of that light colored pink, just like the background of this presentation. So you being in this presentation is going to look no different than my Instagram does, is going to look no different than my website does. So that is what I want to create, is a streamline brand, so that when you leave here today, you don't go to my Instagram page and then it's like orange. And you're like, oh, like, is this the same person? It's me. So sometimes you can do this, like I said, through Canva, which we're going to learn about today. And another way you can do this is through a brand photo shoot. So when I opened up my business, I dressed up in pink, black and white, took a couple outfits and took a bunch of photos. And it helped me create content, those filler posts in between. I don't have a product. I'm a service-based business. So it's nice that I can take, a couple photos of myself, headshots, anything like that. As you can see, even in the last picture, we got a pink tank top on, as well as the black and white blazer. So everything is branded to those colors. So that's important to consider as you're kind of building out your content. Instead of having all these extra colors in there, pick your color palette, pick your starting point, whether you already have that or you're kind of building that out, and build that for your brand so people can just recognize who you are when they see those colors. Okay, so a little bit on how to plan content. I'm sure a lot of people feel overwhelmed in this new social media world, and it's like, okay, how do we plan this stuff? How do we get this stuff out there? And the first thing I always say is to brainstorm. That is my go-to. We start with brainstorming. I take a piece of paper and I literally write it down. I hate technology other than social media. And so I'm not about the, online notepads. I like physical paper and pen. So I just write down my ideas. I think about the business. I think about what I want to share with people. I think about, whether it's a product or service or, a personal brand. I think about all of that stuff and what I want to share with people in my messaging. So I just write it down. I'm like, I want to teach people about Canva. I want to teach people about entrepreneurship as a young entrepreneur, all that kind of stuff. So think about that for your business. Just write it down. Anything and everything you can think of. If you're struggling for ideas, take a look at the competition. Now, don't copy and paste what they've said, because that is a big no-no, but take a look at what they're posting. If I look at my competition, maybe they're posting a new feature that Instagram has launched. So I'm, hey, maybe I should also post something similar to that and just introduce people to this new feature that Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn has. And then take a look at content pillars. And we haven't talked about that too much in this presentation, but I have talked about it in past ones. Content pillars are basically your content buckets. I recommend Googling it or send me a message after if you're confused about that. But essentially, it's 5 overarching topics that your business kind of represents. So I always say there's 3 to 5 of them that you can pick. And that's what your business is about. That's what you want to talk about in all of your content. So once you kind of have that brainstormed list, now you're probably like, okay, I've brain dumped everything. I have like 10 ideas here. Now what do we do? So I get out a physical calendar. Let me just find mine here. I have them for all my clients and for myself. I get out a physical calendar. Again, I'm a paper and pen person. It's what I like to do. And I plan it out. So I take that information that I just wrote down on this piece of paper and I put it into an actual calendar. So, maybe you want to post once a week, or maybe you want to post twice a week. I always say consistency is key, and whatever consistent is for you is what you should do. So if you can post 2 times a week, great. Post 2 times a week. If you can only get on social media once a week, that's okay too. You can be there 7 days a week. Great. I can't do that. So good for you. Figure out what you can stay consistent with. So if you say, Monday mornings, I want to post, great. post Monday mornings. And if you look at a calendar, March is an exception because we have 5 Mondays in March. But normally that's 4 times a month. So let's take that list that you just created and pick 4 of those topics and write them down on the calendar. Now you've planned out your content for that month. So then we're going to go into Canva, and that's where we kind of explain the rest of the part of it. So you have your ideas. Now that you've, brain dumped, you have an idea of what you want to produce. Now we have to kind of produce that content. So like I said, Canva is going to become your new bestie. You can pay for the paid program of it, or you could do the free one. I'm going to show you a few different options for the paid versus free. There's a few different like level up moments that you can have, but it's $16 a month. It's one of the best investments I've made in my business, probably besides my accounting software. So I always advocate for it. If you like the program and you want to keep working with it, the paid option just gives you those couple extra features that we're going to talk a little bit about today. And like I said, we're going to use our brand colors and our brand fonts, and that's what's going to build up our social media. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. We don't have to, find all these graphics and use all these templates. Canva is a wealth of templates. There's probably like 1 million on there. So you could probably sit there all day and just look through templates. We don't have to create a new template every time we do something. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. And then, like I said, keeping your brand consistent. This one up here, Catherine Sumonick, she's a registered dietitian in Thunder Bay. Her brand colors were like a dark navy blue, the bright green, and then black and white. And so we brought some of those elements right into her branding, into her social media. You don't see like a bright orange one there or a pink one there because it doesn't make sense. It's not a part of her brand. So that is what that is what that is. So like I said, you don't have to create new templates every time you make something new. And we're going to talk about that once we get into Canva. Yeah, let's get into it. So this is some of the stuff we're going to go over. I'm already in Canva because that's where my presentation is, but I'm going to bring you guys to the front page of Canva. So when you type in canva.com, this is what it comes up to. So just take a drink there, slow down. This is what it comes up to. If you have any questions, this is where this might get a little complicated. But like I said, it's like Microsoft Word. Once you know how to use it, it's pretty easy. Sorry for the background noise. So what you have to decide first is, are you going to use a template or do you like to create graphics by yourself? And some of you guys might be like, hey, I'm pretty creative. I could probably create a graphic by myself, but probably to start off, you're going to want to see what they've got going on. So the nice thing about Canva is that you can create templates, you can create graphics for quite literally anything. Business cards, presentations, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you want to be on, you can do it here. Brochures, whatever, you can create anything on here. So they already have everything sized out, ready for you. So let's say we want to create a Facebook post. So you type in your search bar here, Facebook post, and you click on Facebook post. So all of these graphics are already sized to Facebook. You don't have to worry about them not fitting somewhere. They're already sized to your Facebook. Now, if you wanted to make, let's say, a Facebook cover photo, so your banner at the top of your, either your personal profile or your business profile, you can type in Facebook cover, and it's going to take everything and size it for that cover photo. So whatever you need, tell Canva. It could be a business card. It could be an Instagram post. It could be an Instagram story. It could be a LinkedIn post. You tell Canva what you need and they will size it for you. So I'm going to go back to Facebook post just because it's a nice size. They have 76,000 templates. We could sit here all day and go through these templates. Craziness. I see a chat. Zoom back. So we have so many different things. We have so much going on. That's a lot of templates to search through. If you're thinking about your business, you're like, holy crap, like I'm going to sit here for days. We're going to be here all day. Now you can get a little more specific. So let's say you have a spa. Type in spa. Okay, now you're getting a little more specific. Still 80,000 templates, but they're a little more spa related. They're a little more relaxed. There's a vibe to them. Now on the side here, you have a bunch of different options. Now with Canva, any one of these elements can be changed to whatever color you want. So I always say, you know, they have an option down here that has colors. So if you wanted something specific, you're like, hey, I want everything to be blue. Yeah, you could have, you know, blue, but you might not like any of these ones. I wouldn't get lost too much in the colors because everything on Canva, you can change. You can change all the colors of this stuff. So you can try different styles if you prefer different styles. They have some different options there. Lots of different options. Like I said, Canva is huge. And so I always say, you know, if you sat here and tried to find templates every time you did something, you'd probably waste like many hours of your life. So that is kind of the sidebar here. But let's say, you know, we pick one. The little crown here at the bottom of some of them have it here. That means the pro version. So that is your $16 a month service. So some of them automatically get ruled out if you don't have the subscription to that. But let's see what we've got going on here. I'm going to choose this one right now. So I like this one. Kind of looks like ground beef in the background at first. I was like, what's going on over there? But let's take this one, for example. We're going to play around with this one a little bit. So here we have our template. I don't really like this bright pink color. Let's say I want to change that to my brand color, which might be blue or might be a different color. So you click on anything here, click on whatever you want to click on, and you can change it. So right now we're going to click on this pink square. When you click on that, up in the top corner here, you're going to see the color that it is. So if you click on that, it's going to offer you. Now I have brand kits in here, which we're going to talk a little bit about. But if you scroll down, you have some color palettes right here. And I believe it's right up here. So right up here, you can actually choose any color you want. So you can scroll through here and find a color that you like, or which I hope you have in your brand kit that you're eventually going to develop. If you don't already have it, you might already have the color code that you have for your business. So if you have a very specific blue, you're going to have a color code that goes along with that. That's what you can type directly into there. So I can't even remember, you know, what mine is, but if you start typing, you'll notice that it's bringing up different colors and this and that. So let's say we like this purple color, or that's our brand color. We're going to go with the purple. So great. Now we changed it to purple. Now let's say, you know, this white, I don't really like this white font. I'd rather have it black or a darker color. Again, click on the font. And now you have a bunch of options at the top, similar to Microsoft Word up here. So the first one is your font style. So you can change your font style to, again, the million options they have. But instead of scrolling through there, because there's lots, just like Word does, maybe you want something specific. So maybe you want something, you know, a little more, they have options up here as well. But let's say you want something a little more corporate. You want something a little more structured. So it's going to take out all those handwriting fonts, those retro fonts, the playful fonts. It's just going to give you what's here. So let's say you like this extra bold one. Beauty. Now, next to that is your size. So again, you can adjust your size to whatever you think is fit. If you want it to be giant, okay, that doesn't fit. So maybe let's tone that one down a little bit. So your font size is right next to that. Then next to that, you have your text color. So that's where we can change the color. Again, it brings up that same sidebar that you had for the background. And you can choose your color up here, or you could type in black or whatever you want it to be. So black is always at the bottom. Let's say we like black. We're going to leave it like that. Now, for certain fonts, you have different options up here as well. Some of them allow you to bold the font. Some of them allow you to italicize and underline. It just depends on what the font has as a feature. So if it does let you do that, those things will be up there. See, it's telling me you can italicize this one, but I can bold it if I wanted to. Next to that, we have our alignment. So do we want it to be centered? Do we want it to be left, right, that kind of thing? So you can adjust and play around with that however you feel looks good. Then you have, you know, if you were to make a list here, let's say we were, okay, we're really excited. We're going to start making a list. So we have bullet points and it'll add in your sorry, I gotta type something. Then it'll add in your bullet points. So if you have a list and you're saying maybe, let's say this post is 5 ways to enjoy spring early. You might have a list, grab a house plant, get outside when you can. You might have just a bullet point list on your graphic. This next one I really like, and I think it's kind of underestimated. It's called the spacing one. And that adds letter spacing or line spacing. So let's say, this looks a little bit cramped. I don't really love how close everything is. Let's add some spacing. Obviously the words are a little bit big, so it skipped some things there, and let's add some line spacing. Let's spread it out a little bit. So I think this one kind of gets looked over a lot, but it can really be a very simple way to add some dimension to your graphics. It doesn't, like I said, things don't have to be super complicated. That just added a little extra space. I'm going to take the line spacing out of there. So getaway is the same size, but it just adds that little extra dimension to your graphics so you can see things a little bit more clearly. So that is what that one is. Then we have effects. Effects is kind of cool. This is where you can add drop shadows. This is where you can curve the text. This is where you can just add those little extra design elements to it. Again, when you're first starting off, don't stress about all these extra things. I'm just showing you that top bar so you can be a little more familiar with it. So right now we have none, but maybe we wanted to add a little bit of shadow to that to make it stand out a little bit more. See how it switched it a little bit? So then we can add a different color in the background if we wanted to. I like that. That looks kind of nice. Effects. There we go. You can change the offset of it. So it's a little bit more or a little bit less. You can change the direction of it. See how it's kind of moving around the letters there. There's lots of different things you could do with this. You could add transparency. So if you wanted it to be really bold in color, you could do that. Or you could just be a little bit lighter, up to you. Anyway, lots of options with these types of things. They add lots of different, elements to things. It becomes a little more graphic design style. There's a little bit of an extra layer. So lots of options you can choose. I'm going to go back to the shadow situation. I like a white shadow. I think it just adds that element of the white, kind of ties it in there. I think it looks okay. Then this last button here is called animate, and video content has become the way of the world. So if you want to make a quick little video without making a video, you can just add an animation to your image here. So let's say we want these words in this, oh, sorry guys. Let's say we want these words to come in like that, or like this, or like this, lots of different options. So that is under the animated button here. You don't have to do that. That's not necessary. But if you just want to add that little extra spice, you can do that too. Like I said, there's going to be elements that have a little crown on them. That means there's a paid option to that. So I pay my $16 a month and I get to use them. If you don't pay that, then those won't be able to be available to you. So, okay, I like this so far, but this background with the pink, whatever this is, kind of reminds me of like meat for some reason. Don't love it. Let's change that. So again, click on the element that you want to do something with. Now, in this case, I'm just going to delete the image. So click backspace on your keyboard. Gone. Now it's the basic white image. If you wanted to maybe adjust, say, it's a little bit too much for me. It's a little bit too much in there. So if you go up here, there's a transparency button. So you can adjust it. It's a little bit darker. Now it's not as like in your face. But for me, I just don't love it. So I'm going to delete it, get rid of that. But I am going to go over to the Elements tab. Now your Elements is where you can get different graphics, you can get different images. These are all copywritten free. They are all free to use for your not all of them are going to be free to use, but they're all copywritten free. So if you add a stock image that's on Canva, you don't have to worry about somebody coming to you 10 years down the road and suing you because you use their image and you didn't credit them and blah, blah, blah. These are free to use. That's why Canva has like this bank of images. So I want to add in a spa image. So now it gives me some options up here. So you can decide if you just want to scroll through, you can do it that way. Up here at the top, It's going to actually give me a filter again, lots of filters if you wanted to. Again, if you wanted a specific color, right at the bottom here is what I'm going to show you guys that's important. You can have free or the pro version. So if you're just using the free and you don't want to find all these images that you have to pay for, and now you're mad because you made this graphic and now it's like, oh, I had to pay for that image, so I can't even use it. Click free. Apply the filter. It's going to show you all the things that are free to you. So at the top, you have your photos. These are all Canva's like stock photos. You have graphics. These are all the kind of design elements that you can add in there. So if you wanted to add in a leaf or a flower or something like that, you can add in video. So they have stock video as well. So if you hover over it, you can watch it play. And then they have audio options as well, but there are none for the spa. So I'm going to go back to photos. I kind of like this picture of this like leaf towel situation, very simplistic. You just drag and drop it to wherever you want it to go. Now, sometimes that gets a little complicated and Canva is like trying to put it everywhere. It's okay. You can delete it. You can adjust it. Don't panic if it's not in the right spot. It'll be okay. So I like that image, but it's a little bit bright for me still. So I'm going to click on the image and up here in the top, it says transparency. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. Just a little lighter, you know, so it's not so like in my face. And that is how you create a template. That is how you adjust a template. There are many different options, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about like background and brand guide. We're going to create one from scratch kind of thing. But that, you know, you can adjust things in a template. Let's say you didn't want this flash sale text up here. Click on it. Click on it. Delete it. It's gone. You don't have to have it. Backspace that stuff. Just get rid of it. Whatever you don't want, gone. Control Z on a PC is how you get that kind of stuff back, you know. But or up here actually is your undo and your redo. So if you're like, oh crap, I wish I didn't delete that. No worries, undo it. It's okay. We don't have to stress. It's still there. So that is that. Now, one feature that I really use in my business often and for my clients is called the resize. And, you know, that's almost why I bought this program just in and of itself is to have this option. So resize up in the corner here. If you don't have the paid version, you can't use it. But if you do, you click on it. Let's say you really like this and you want to turn it into like, you know, postcards or something so you can give them out to your clients. Okay, resize. Postcard. You can copy the image and resize it, or you can blatantly just resize this one. I'm just going to resize it so I don't have all these extra graphics in my inbox. Okay, so now it's now it didn't look like much, but now it's a postcard. So you can pull things out a little bit. You can adjust these. Again, by clicking on anything, you can move it around. So if you wanted to move it completely, you can move it completely, or you can pull it open a little bit, that kind of thing. Let's say you wanted to make it into an Instagram story. It's right there for me already. It's telling you the dimensions right here as well. So if you went to print this and you were like, I don't know what size that is, it's going to tell you the dimensions right there. But let's say we want it to be an Instagram story. Okay, that was quite a change. That moved up a little bit. So again, now it kind of looks a little funky because it doesn't really fit the screen very well. So pull it up a little bit. Purple, pull it up. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Maybe that's a little too big. Move it around a little bit. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so now it's still a little bit blank. Now is where maybe I want to add in that leaf. Where is it? Ooh, spicy. Can put that in the corner here. Can make it a little bit bigger. Again, don't love how bright it is. So let me go over to the transparency. Pull it down a little bit. Okay, I could get on board with that. Now this top corner needs a little something. Let's put some flowers up there. Now, this is an element where you can change the color of the flowers. So some of them, they come how they are. This leaf comes how it is. It's an image. You can't change it. This is an element. So I can change it. Let's say, you know, the flowers are white right now. Maybe I want them to be purple. That's a little aggressive. Maybe I don't want them to be purple. Maybe I want that little dot in the middle to be purple. So it matches my brand a little bit more. Just adds that extra little spot in there. So I can edit that. So you can change the complete color of this one. And if you can do that, again, it'll show right up in this corner. So some elements like this leaf, it doesn't show me that option, so I can't change the color of the leaf. But when I click on this one, right away, it gives me that color palette, so I know I can change the color if I wanted to. Again, not necessary, but if you really wanted to take it that extra little spot, you can do that. Again, I'm going to change the transparency a little bit, make it a little more duller. So we went from the very basic graphic. Now we've added in a few more elements to add a little bit of spice to it. I use spice. I don't know. It's my word. So let's say, you wanted to flip the image or something like that. You can do that as well. So maybe it's up, maybe it's an arrow and you're like, I don't want, let's go to arrow. Instead of trying to search for these for 45 minutes, let's say you like this arrow, but it's facing the wrong direction. You're like, no, I want it to go the other way. You can turn it right at the bottom here. You can just flip it, whatever direction you want it to go, 180, or you can go right here to flip and it'll flip it for you. So if you find something that you like and you're like, it's the wrong direction, or I don't like the way it looks there, you can change that. At the very bottom, there's this little turning toggle. So you can adjust what kind of angle it's on if you wanted these to be straight or however you want them to be. Lots of different things you can do and customize when it comes to this program. So I'm going to leave that for now. Does anybody have any questions specifically kind of in this element that we're talking about right now? Is there anything I went by that people are like, wait, slow down?
Sandra, did you have a question? She had put in Zoom background. I didn't.
Yes, I was just curious how to make a Zoom background, because when I present, I like to have my graphic beside me because I'm pretty slow on the computer. So if I have my graphic beside me and I sit off to the side, I can talk from there.
Yeah. So Zoom and this is more of a Zoom question. I haven't used Zoom as much as I've used other platforms. But if you made a graphic in here, I'm not sure if you can upload it to Zoom to have it as your background. So if you can, yeah, you can make it right in here. And I wonder, now that you say that, I wonder if they have an option for Zoom. Zoom virtual backgrounds. There you go. They got it all. So you can pick, again, you can pick from a template that they have if you find something that you like. Again, there's 2,000 templates, so it might take you a couple hours to go through that. Or if you want to make one of your own, you can do that too. So interesting. So there's that for you. Okay, so let's go back to home. So when you come into Canva, this is what it looks like. So we're going to go through the basics of this home screen for a minute here. So at the top, you have your home. If you ever get lost, go back home. No stress. At the top, you have templates. So like I said, you have your classic social media templates here. You have personal templates. So if you wanted to make a wedding invitation, you can do that. Resume, there's t-shirt designs, there's tons of stuff Canva does. And that's not even like the half of it. It's just showing you some things that are popular right now. Businesses, so you can make websites through Canva if you wanted to. You can make logos through Canva. Now, the thing with logos is Canva owns the design. So if you're a small business such as myself, I made my Canva logo, not loving it. At the time I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Sure, we'll just do this. But if I wanted to, really get famous, put it on a billboard, sell a lot of things, really build up my business, I don't have the copyrights to that logo. So Canva can come at any time and say, hey, that's our logo. You can't make money off of it. So something to consider. If you're a small business, like myself, if you're, just doing your thing, a lot of times it's not going to matter. Your logo, it's not going to be a huge thing. And they have a gazillion different options, 27,000 templates. Lots of different options. I've seen Canva logos all over the place. I believe, what studio is it? There's a spa actually in Thunder Bay that's quite popular, and they have a Canva logo because I've seen it in here and they just like adjusted it, and I'm like, hey, that's a Canva template. So again, like I said, Canva's not going to come find you. You're a little person like myself, but just something to keep in mind. You don't have the copyrights to a logo from Canva. Okay, let's go back home. Templates, again, lots of different things, posters, flyers, infographics, worksheets, certificates, photo books, tons of things. So you can spend all day kind of searching through those types of things, but I use it mainly for the social media stuff. Sometimes, I've done my business card, I've done stuff like that, but most of the stuff is social media related. There are different features, like I said, again, I don't use too many of these outside of just like being in the design. But you can add things like Bitmojis, you can add Google Maps, you can add a bunch of different things. So lots of features that happen. And then they actually have learning things on Canva. So you can, design with Canva, the very basics. What I'm kind of teaching you today, they're going to teach you with their own instructors, with their own professionals. So lots of different options there as well. So that was just the top bar. Then we have the sidebar here. So here we have home, always a good place to start. Recent designs. So let's say you design something and you're like, okay, where did it go? Where is it? Everything automatically saves. So, we have a couple of questions. I'm going to answer these. Regarding the logo on Canva, the internet froze, no worries. So Canva has the licensing to that logo. So you can use it, but you can't, make money off of that logo. So you can't, print it on t-shirts or like put it on a billboard. Us small business owners, Canva is never going to come find your t-shirt in Little Thunder Bay. But, if you start selling those worldwide and it becomes a big popular, like Nike, you have this whole store, you don't have the license to that. So you can get your logo revoked from you. So us little people, not going to be a big deal. If you start selling products worldwide and it's like this big, huge company, that's something to think about. So sidebar, you have your profile. I signed into mine, obviously. And you have your home, recent designs. So if you lost something or you did something, oh, look, it's right there. We just did it. Now it takes a hot second for it to update. As we know, we have changed this design. If I click on it, see, it's going to open the design we just did. So it takes a little time for it to save the changes, but all changes are saved kind of automatically. There's no save button. You don't have to be like, okay, save it. It's saved automatically. Now, if your internet cuts out and you make this beautiful design, Canva will let you, but it's not going to get saved. And it's going to tell you right at the top, changes might not be saved. So make sure your internet's working, because sometimes that's happened and I'm like, it's not going to save. It's not going to save. I've had Canva documents open for weeks. They'll save as the internet kind of updates. So if you have a moment, you're like, oh my God, the Wi-Fi cut out. Just leave it. When the Wi-Fi kicks back in, it'll automatically save for you. Okay, back to home. Recent designs. Those are all your recent designs. Your projects. So you can actually make folders. For myself, I have a gazillion, I don't want to say gazillion businesses, but I have businesses that I work with. And so, it's hard to go through all of these templates and try and find the right business and try and find the graphics. If we go to my designs, we'd be here for days. I'd be like, okay, where is it? I did it. I don't know where it is. There's hundreds of them. So I just go to my projects and I find the client that I'm working on. So if you have different projects that you're working on, you can put them in different folders and that kind of thing. If you have someone, let's say, we finished this discussion and you're like, hey, can you send me that graphic that we did today? I like the graphic that we played around with up here. If you click up here in the top corner, I can share it with you. So if you click share, I can add in your email and it'll send the document to your email. So when you'll get an email that says Cassandra wants to share this Canva document with you. And if you click on it, it'll open this graphic for us. So if you have a team of people that you might be working with, that's a great resource to have. So, let's say me and Linda are working on this graphic together. Instead of, me updating it, sending it to her updating it, sending it back to me, we can just work together in tandem on the same project. So she can be on here and it'll have like a red box around the things that she's doing. And it'll say, Linda's working on this. And so if she moves this, it's going to update in real time for me. So if you ever have a project that you're working with more than one person on, it's kind of nice that you can both be on the project, similar to a Google document, and work together that way. Back to home. Trash. If you ever delete something and you're like, oh my God, I need that. It's in your trash folder. It's there. And then the brand kit. This is another one. So down here, you have your brand kit and your content planner. This is another reason why I pay for Canva. This brand kit saves my life. So I'm just going to go here for a hot second and show you what I mean by that. So we've opened up a design, I'm just showing you as an example. So let me find.
So these are only paid ones now? The brand kit?
Yeah, so this brand kit is a paid feature. Yeah. So let's say I want to change the background color to my pink color. Now, that's a very specific color. There's a very specific number for that color. I can't just choose any pink. So if I click on the background, I want to change the white background. So I've clicked on it. It gives me the option to change the color up here again. If I click on that, so now it says untitled brand kit, but here's my brand kit for Konnect. Black, brown, which I should probably get rid of, gray, this maroon color, pink, and white. So I have saved, essentially I've saved my color codes to this so that I can use them very easily. I don't have to try and find the code again or find what color it was, or, it gets very hard very quickly. So unless you want to, you don't have to pay for it just for this feature, but if you want to have a sticky note kind of beside your desk with your color code number on them, that's this little number there that hovers underneath the color code, or hovers underneath the color. If you want to write that down and just type it in every time, you're welcome to. No harm, no foul. But for me, it's just easier, especially when I have so many clients, to just have everything right there. So as I scroll down, you can see that, Catherine, we talked about her bright green color is this color. I don't have to try and find the color code or find an element. I already know that that's the color because I put it in there. So I have many brand kits, but you'll probably only have one or maybe two if you're working on a couple different projects. But that is a paid feature to have these colors automatically show up. Now, if I were to add text, I'm going to go over to the text element. I'm going to add text. So you can add text this way, just adding in a text box there, or you can go down and see what kind of different texts they've compared to each other. Again, some of them are pro, some of them are free. So it just depends on what you want. So let's say I like this happy birthday. I'm going to send Catherine a happy birthday message in her brand colors. So I add that in there. Again, I'm going to drag it around because I don't like it there. I'm going to delete this piece, backspace. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now, let's say I don't really like this black color. I'm like, it's kind of aggressive. Up here in the top, I'm going to answer your questions in one sec. Up here in the top under the text color, click on it. Boom, brand colors are there again. So your brand colors will show up anytime you need to color something. So again, Catherine's brand colors, she had this like gray color. I'm going to use that for her image. So that brand guide can be very beneficial to make things go a little bit quicker. It's not necessary. It's not, you don't have to have it, but it just makes things nice because everything that you do in your brand is right there for you. Okay, let's take a look at this chat. Where the color codes by, yes, absolutely. So yes, you can use the color codes by Pennington. They will have a color number underneath them, and that's what you're typing in there. So I'm going to show you guys how to make the brand guide and just kind of show you a little bit about that. Let's go back to the home brand kit. Click on it. Everyone will have this button, but you just might not be able to access it if you don't pay for it. So brand kit, add a brand kit. Boom, name it, give it something. I'm going to name mine Konnect. Hold on, we're in chat blocks here. Konnect. Create. So, okay, well, it's teaching me how to do this. So you can add your logo in there. Very beneficial. Have you ever tried to search for your logo on your computer? Unless you're like super organized, it's probably like somewhere buried in some folder somewhere. And you're like, logo. You can add your logo right into that spot. So I don't have mine like readily available. It's probably somewhere in here. You can add your logo in there. And here's where you can add your color palette. So when you click on it, it's going to give you the option to add in your color code. So that is where you pick up that number and you toss it in there. If you don't know, let's say, you're like, I don't really have a brand color. I don't really have a brand guide yet. I'm not there. That's okay. There's some options here as well. So you can put discover color palettes and you can take a look through their options. They have some different colors that kind of go together, that brand together really well. So they have, again, a million different options. We could be here all day. So take a look through that. So once you've added in, let's say, once we've added in our brand colors, you can see the color code right underneath them if you needed. Let's say you're like, no, I actually really don't like that. 3 dots, delete. And it's gone. You don't have to worry about it. You can add as many colors as you want in here. Let's say you're like, hey, I don't really have a brand color palette, but there's like certain colors that I just like. You can add those in there. Like I said, I always recommend the brand, but if you were like, hey, I just, you know, I don't really have a business, or I just want to learn about this, or I like these colors, toss them in there. Over here, you can also add in your fonts. So let's say, you know, you're like, hey, I really like these 3 or 4 fonts. You can actually add them right in here. So when you click on the font, it's going to say, okay, what's your main font of the business? Bold. Boom, it's going to change it to that. Then what's kind of the next one that you use most often? Look at this cute finger painting one. We're going to toss that one in there. It's going to add it in. And then the last one. And again, you don't have to add in all of them. You can just add in 1 or 2 if you want, but has the options. As you see, there's some crowns on some of the fonts. So not all of them are free, but there's quite a few that are. So kind of play around with that. So yeah, let's say you just, hey, that's good. I like it. You can upload fonts. Let's say you have a font that doesn't exist on Canva. You can upload the font and have it there as well. So that is what that kind of looks like. I always say it's nice to just have it there, because then, like I said, when you're designing, you don't have to add in your color codes. It's all right there for you. Underneath that option is the content planner. Now, this might be something that people really enjoy in Canva. Content planner. Look at this nice March calendar. It's provided us different holidays that are happening. So let's say you're like, hey, I want to make a post for International Women's Day. If you click on that holiday, it actually gives you some templates right there that you can choose from. Or like I said, you can create a design if you want, or if you already have a design ready to go, you can do it that way. But what this really does is it allows you to schedule right on social media platforms if you wanted to. So let's say you design the graphic we just did, and I want to post it on, what is this, Thursday, March 10th. I click on this plus button. Here's our graphic. It looks a little different now. Canva needs to update a little bit quicker. Boom. Here it is. Okay, lovely, looking good. We like it. We've approved it. Here it is, Thursday, March 10th. Select my channel. You would sign in to your Facebook page, your Facebook group, your Instagram page. You would sign in, or your LinkedIn, whatever you want. You sign in to your account, and then you can schedule it right from Canva. So you don't have to add extra software or try to do a different program if you didn't want to. I don't schedule through Canva personally. I have done it. It's a great tool that they've added in there. And you can add in, so you select your channel, let's say Facebook. You add in your caption. Spring is just around the corner. If I could type today. And then you click schedule post, and it will schedule it for your Facebook page on Thursday, March 10th at 9:48. You can adjust that obviously, and it'll post it for you. So you can do that kind of all in Canva now, which is another reason why people use the paid features, because it allows you to schedule right there. You don't have to take it off platform. You don't have to save stuff and then post it. You could do it right there if you wanted to. So that's another great feature. I want to show you a couple more things right before we kind of wrap this up. I know I'm kind of talking a lot, then I'll answer any questions. So at the, okay. Let's stop Zoom. I'm gonna have all these new designs. So at the top, you can create a design. Like I said, you can choose from a template, or you can click create a design. Pick what you want to do. So do you want to have an Instagram post, a Facebook post? Again, you can type in LinkedIn post if you wanted to, or LinkedIn banner, or whatever you want. Let's do LinkedIn post for a hot second. And then up here, here's your elements again. So you can add in anything like that. You can add in your own photos. So if you have uploads, you can upload your own images into Canva. Your text is right there for you. Your brand guide is right there for you under the styled. So let's say we're going to add in this image as the background. Actually, no, I want to use something a little more Okay, let's use this one. I don't know if it's going to work 100%, but let's use this one. Okay. Hey, it's me. Hi. Let's say you wanted, hey, I just want to use this picture of me. I don't want this background in there. This is a huge feature that everyone uses. It is a paid feature. Click on the image. I think it's a paid feature. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Click on the picture, click edit image, background remover. If you have a product that you took in your kitchen and you're like, I wish my kitchen counter wasn't a part of that. I just want the bottle. Boom. Hey, now it's just me. So now it's a background image. Let's say I wanted to make this smaller and like move it around. Right click, detach from background. And now it's just me. So I can move it around again. So I like it over here. I'm going to add in some text up here. And however you want to design it. So a lot of people use that background image, that background remover. And I think people pay Canva just to use that because it's pretty precise. Some other background removers are like very like, it's not good. They like cut half of it or they like cut half your hair. Like my hair is very, very light in this image. So, you know, you got to make sure that it's not like chopping off half my head or something dumb. So those are some of the basic features. We could go on for days if we wanted to about all the things that Canva has to offer. I want to give you guys some time to just digest. I know I threw a lot at you and you're probably like, holy crap, this is a lot. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me your questions. Ask me what you need to know.
Cassandra, I don't know if we answered this one. Can you use Pantone colors?
Yes.
Or are
Yes.
the codes by the color Pantone, or are the codes by the color Pantone colors?
Yeah. So as long as you have that color code, you'll be able to insert it into here. So there's like a 6 or 5 digit code number or whatever it is, just insert it into Canva and then it'll have it there for you.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
You've got
anybody
some,
else?
Yeah,
super
great feedback. Everybody's happy with the presentation. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean Pritchard. Do you, as part of your business, do you coach people in how to use this?
Absolutely. So yeah, so I have full-blown social media management services. Here, I'll just close this for a second. So I have full-blown social media management services where I take over businesses' social media for them. And then I have coaching services. So whether that is how to use Instagram Reels or how to use Canva and create things for yourself, I kind of do whatever you need me to do in terms of social media. So yeah, if you came up to me and were like, hey, I need a craft course, I need some help here, or I want to do this, how do I get there? Yeah, I offer that as well. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
No, of course.
And great session, by the way. Thank you so much. I think I've seen this twice, but I get new things out of it every time. So thanks.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. I'm just going to toss my website and kind of my social media in the chat here as well. So you guys have some contact information. But yeah, I know it can be a lot sometimes. It's hard to, especially when you're learning new software. I remember when I learned it, I was like, what the heck are we doing? How am I going to learn this?
Yeah.
Take some time, right? Some practice.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have any other questions? And if not, like Cassandra said, she's put her information there. And if you think of anything, please reach out to her and she'd be more than happy to connect with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thanks everybody for joining us today. And thank you so much, Cassandra. We really appreciate this and all the knowledge that you have. And we look forward to having you again in the coming few months anyways. So we'll have her back. Yeah, exactly. We'll have her back. So thank you so much. And everybody have a great day. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys.
Bye.